Hello and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video on the BradMouse channel, and today we're going to be taking a quick deep dive look at my personal top 10 worst Dragon Ball Sparking Zero characters in the game. You heard me right, in the game. Now again, this all is aligned to my opinion and my time using the character. If you agree or disagree on who should be here or who you think would be a dishonorable mention in this list, then feel free to comment below. But otherwise, let's just jump straight into our number 10 spot. Coming in at number 10, we have the Great Saiyaman. Now, the Great Saiyaman, by all means, is solid. He's not a horrifically bad character, per se. He's quite literally the most middle ground, mediocre character on this list. He's not horrific to use, he's not terrible, but his moveset and what he brings to the table really hold him back from being a viable competitor on your team. For starters, he costs more than Base Form Gohan, and Base Form Gohan I feel just has a lot more going for him than the Great Saiyaman does. And also the fact that bringing Great Saiyaman as the first character costs more than bringing Gohan, which means that you can either go from Base Gohan to Super Saiyan or Great Saiyaman. But that begs the question, why would you go from Base Gohan to Saiyaman instead of Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2? You know, arguably stronger and more considerably more competitive characters in comparison to Great Saiyaman. But anyways, in regards to his kit, he has an explosive wave move, which I guess is okay, but it's really slow, and the little poses he does at the end, while they're really cool, they do leave him really exposed to any potential snowball combos and big moves. It just overall leaves him exposed in times you really don't want to be. But also, Great Saiyaman's rush attack is okay, like it's harmless. His ultimate attack is also a rush attack, which is also harmless. But his pose moves I just think are too expensive for what they are. Like 2 poses that just give flat stat buffs are just not... It's not viable. The reason why Great Saiyaman is not at number 10 and not on our number 9 spot is because you can go back to Base Form Gohan if you're not satisfied with how, you know, Great Saiyaman is performing. You have the luxury of being able to choose whether or not you want to continue playing as Great Saiyaman, unlike our number 9 spot, which we'll be covering shortly. But yeah, number 10 spot goes to Great Saiyaman, just overall a very mid and just mediocre character in terms of moveset, playstyle, and what he brings to the table. So let's jump in for a number 9 spot. Coming in at number 9, we have King Cold. Now, imagine the issues I mentioned with Great Saiyaman, except a little bit worse. Now, King Cold does benefit from having a short key amount for Death Beam, that only costing 2 bars, but his super explosive wave being 4 bars and being expensive as it is for what is a very slow and lackluster move is just to call it a very brave decision would be giving his character more credit than he is. King Cold is just not worth the cost at all. He's got really poor combo strings. His moveset is not really all that much to write home about. He has an explosive wave, which I guess is good for lane off pressure, but let's be honest here, like he basically might as well not have any skills. His super attacks are just okay, like Death Beam having 2 bars, again, very useful, but both attacks are incredibly slow, so you're not going to land them unless the opponent either makes a mistake, or you get very lucky with your combos. And his ultimate attack is a very slow rush attack, but it's cool, like it's very inoffensive. But unlike Great Saiyaman, King Cold is just King Cold. You have no luxury of deciding whether or not you want to continue, you know, using this playstyle or not. You are kind of locked in and forced to stick with this very underwhelming moveset, so to speak. So yeah, to sum up why King Cold is on the number 9 spot, he's just got a very slow and sluggy moveset. Can't really do much in terms of contributing to the team. He's not formidable in any way, and overall he's just incredibly mediocre, not just bad. So let's move on to a number 8 spot on today's list. Coming in at number 8, which might surprise a few of you, is Android 16. Now, I recently recorded a video using the Android trio, and I said in that video that 16 is without a doubt the worst of the 3 androids, and I'd argue he's probably the worst android in the game, bar none. His ki generation is incredibly slow, his moves are too expensive for an android character to make utility of. His rush attack is a grab, a very slow and very avoidable grab. The damage numbers he puts out are not the greatest. He has no way of getting his ultimate as easy as other androids do. Pump up is kind of pointless and worthless. It's just not good, if I'm being completely honest. He's very slow when it comes to landing his moves. Hell Splash after landing leaves him very open and suspect to a lot of powerful attacks. And lastly, his ultimate attack is a self-destruct that not only does mediocre damage, but it's just you're going to have a very hard time getting to that ultimate, let's be honest. The slow ki generation, the very mediocre and borderline bad super attacks, the lackluster skills, but overall just very sluggish and slow combo strings for a character that has 3 bars instead of 4. It's just, 16 is the worst android, like bar none. He's just not great to use. But because so little people use Android 16, a lot of people are thrown off by how he plays and thus have no idea how to counter against him. So I guess there's some leeway when it comes to that, like, you have the element of surprise when you're running 16. But otherwise, yeah, Android 16 easily takes a number 8 spot on this list. So let's move on to our number 7 pick on the top 10. Coming in at number 7, we have Lord Slug, Base Slug specifically, not the giant version. Now, imagine what I said for 16, but double that on how bad the moveset is. Now, Slug's ki gain is once again incredibly slow when charging. His combos generate little to no ki, and his moveset is just, yeah, I'm just gonna be straight up. He has a Finger Beam. While cheap, it's not great. The damage numbers are quite small and the projectile is inconsistent. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses, sometimes it just doesn't work. And then you have his secondary I-Beam attack, which is an AoE slash curve type super attack. It's not good, half the time it doesn't land, and it's easy to read and block, so it's just, you might as well not even have it. His ki power-up recovery move is not good. It recovers like 2 bars of ki. It's so bad, like it's genuinely terrible. And his ultimate is a rush attack. It's not unblockable, which is kind of strange considering it's a grab in the animation, but I digress. Slug just has nothing going for him in his base, so you may as well just not even have a set of super attacks in his kit. Getting ki for this character is also going to prove a challenge as well. You're just not going to have a good time using Slug because of how, no pun intended, sluggish this character is and how poor his super attacks are and how he just has no utility. And he costs way too much for what he's doing. So yeah, that's Lord Slug on the number 7 slot. Now let's move on to number 6. Coming in at number 6 we have Qui, or Quai, however you want to say his name. The purple guy who is allegedly Vegeta's rival. Now, Qui is a very strange case, where you try and make a moveset out of a character that has one iconic moment. And because of this he gets a slow energy wave, he gets a really bad energy wave volley. It's just not good. Like, he has false courage, sure, that's okay, I guess. But he's incredibly mediocre. He has no defense because he's a Frieza Lackey. He has no damage because, again, Frieza Lackey. He's just a really bad, cheap alternative to, like, I don't know, Spopovich or even Hercule in the right hand. Like, Kui does nothing to really put limits on the opponent. He has no, like, versatility on the field. His combo strings are really sluggish and slow for some reason, even though he's never really been implied to be a slow character. Outside of mentally, of course, but anyway. Kui's ultimate is a rush attack, again, inoffensive, but it's just not good enough to compensate for the rest. I just don't think you should be running Qui. I unironically believe that Frieza Soldier is better, purely because of the fact that he is just offensively better. He can swap out faster, he can actually recover most of his ki. He's just overall a stronger version of Qui, which is hilarious considering Frieza Soldier is intended to be the weaker version. And also Sleep. Sleep is worthless. It doesn't do anything. It costs all of Kui's meter to get like 1 bar HP back. Oh, that's just horrible. But yeah, there's Kui taking up the number 6 slot. Now let's move on to our top 5 worst Dragon Ball Sparking characters, in my opinion. Coming in at number 5 is gonna be a very controversial pick, and I'll leave it up to you guys to debate this. But I firmly believe that number 5 goes directly to Daima Goku. Daima Goku struggles so badly. Now you may disagree and say, well, he's beneficial in close quarter combat. Well, in a game where the meta is usually blasting, is usually projectiles, blockable ranged attacks, Daima Goku has no ranged options to speak of. He has nothing. He's unable to use Ki Blasting in any shape or form. And because of this, his Y attack, or triangle attack, whatever platform you play on, that attack gets converted into a charge attack that has questionable and inconsistent range at times. Sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't, and there's no super armor to really, encourage you to use it. So you're left with a Goku that has no ranged options and can only approach. This leaves you susceptible to a lot of ranged characters. Off the top of my head, I can think of Frieza, Cooler, Metal Cooler, a lot. And also, when characters go high tension and Ki Blast spam, you basically have like no way to really retaliate in that sense. So Daima is already at a range disadvantage. And then we gotta talk about his incredibly terrible Ki generation. Now, like I said earlier, Daima is the melee aspect of Goku. But that really does not translate well when his melee attacks generate little to no Ki, and he just does not benefit from any of his super attacks whatsoever. In fact, his only way to get a consistent 4 bar Ki is by using Sleep. Now, Sleep in this instance, it can be good because not only does it recover full amount of Ki, but it also recovers Daima Goku's health by a 1 bar. But the issue with this is Daima Goku needs to get like 4 bars in order to use it, and that takes a while. So by the time you even get to that point, Daima Goku's probably already dead. So you can't even snowball with this character either. So slow Ki generation, bad ranged options, mediocre damage, and overall just a very wonky moveset. Daima Goku is just unfortunately not good enough to cut it in this game, so I think he deserves his spot at number 5 on this list. Coming in at number 4 we have, and this hurts me to say, Barba D. Barba D is just not good enough, like, in any sense. Now I say this as a Barba D main myself. Barba D just cannot compete. Now, he can paralyze with his Ki Blast, that's cool and all, but like, both of his super attacks are incredibly expensive, and I don't think the high Ki generation is enough to warrant that. Especially with how easily Barba can get caught by stronger characters and how basically non-existent his defense. He can't take hits to save his life, can't do damage to save his life, and a lot of his attacks are... how's a good way of putting it? Just not good enough. He has a rush attack which is easy to read and very slow. He has a range attack that is also really easy to read and very slow. And his ultimate attack requires you to be very close to someone. And this can be easily avoided if you down strategy, or if you just keep a distance from Barba D. Barba D cannot use his ultimate attack if you are far away. It's just not possible. So yeah, Barba D is incredibly easy to counter. He's not as good as people make him to be. He can be in the right hands, but that goes for any character in this game, let's be honest. But overall, I just think as a Barba D main, he lands perfectly at the spot at number 4 on this list. Now, entering the top 3, we have Shin Shenron. Shin Shenron is god awful. He suffers from the same issues that Slug does, but ramped up to 100. He has 2 incredibly bad projectile super attacks. His skills are just not that good, and he has realistically no way to land any big time super attacks. He's also incredibly slow, and he's not worth the DP cost that the game presents him as. The only thing this guy has going for him is damage, but even then, it's so hard to land a consistent amount of big time damage outside of combos. It's just not worth running a character. The reason why Shin Shenron is not the number 1 slot is because he can transform into a Mega Shenron, who is arguably one of the strongest characters in the game. He has everything that Sin Shenron is lacking. But I still don't think that it's good enough to keep him above the top 5. So I put him in the top 3 because his transformation is not only expensive, but also his moveset does not compensate for the cost you're willing to put into him to have him on a team. He's just not that good. So yeah, Sin Shenron at number 3, unfortunately. Let's move on to our number 2 slot. And at number 2, we have Evil Boo. Evil Boo is just a sad, sad story. Right? Evil Boo just does not have what it takes. He has 2 breath attacks, 1 skill, 1 super, both of which are incredibly inconsistent and leave Evil Boo wide open. His combo strings are incredibly sluggy and slow and don't really do him any favours. His key generation is not that good, and Kamehameha, I know it's a solid super attack, but it's the only good thing this guy really has. His damage numbers are whack, ultimate attack is not worth the effort you put into it. His Paralyzed Beam is very easy to read and dodge. Why would you run this Boo, who costs more than Majin Buu? Like, Majin Buu is head and shoulders better than Evil Boo. And he's supposed to be the worst one. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, not really much to say about Evil Boo. He's just bad. Like in every sense of the imagination, Evil Boo is just bad. There's nothing that this character brings to the table. So I'm confident putting him at the number 2 slot. And for our number 1 pick, probably no one's surprise, Piccolo Kami Absorbed, or Piccolo N. This character sucks so much dung despite having 2 of the strongest skills in the game, and that is Wild Sense and False Courage. I've never seen a character be so broken and unusable in my life. In comparison to Piccolo early, who had like Explosive Demon Wave and obviously Demon Breath Cannon, which is his rush attack, and a really crappy ultimate, which is Special Beam Cannon, that's incredibly slow and sluggish to land. How do you make this Piccolo work? Obviously, this Piccolo also has Special Beam Cannon that not only does less damage, but it's incredibly slow to bring out. So why not try Light Grenade? Well, Light Grenade is even worse, because not only is the projectile incredibly slow, it's also easy to avoid. Like, it's one of the easiest projectiles to dodge in the game, to the point where you might as well not even use it. Now, False Courage is nice to have, and Wild Sense is good too, but it doesn't really do anything for Piccolo when he has nothing to chain it into. He might as well not even exist. And Light Grenade is also, like, just not... You might as well not even have, like 2 super attacks on Piccolo's kit that you can't use. Bang, yeah. What about his ultimate attack? His ultimate attack is unusable. And what do I mean by this? Well, Piccolo has a Volley Ki Blast activations type ultimate. And what I mean by this is he launches multiple projectiles. And if one of those projectiles doesn't land, the ultimate attack will not activate. And I mean one of those projectiles doesn't land. Because if you land 2 of them, and if you missed 1, the ultimate attack doesn't activate. You already do a measly like 4k damage. And even when you land all 3, it's just not worth the effort you're putting into to activate in the first place. Damage is so ass, and the ultimate attack is so inconsistent and unusable that Piccolo may as well not even exist. He has nothing. No super attacks, he has no ultimate attack. You don't benefit from using any of his skills. His combo strings are like decent, but that's it. Piccolo is useless. He has nothing. Like, Piccolo End got such a bad set of moves and such a bad set of skills. It's just not... I can't fathom anyone using this Piccolo and saying, yeah, he's good. He's not. He sucks ass. So yeah, that's in my opinion the worst character in Sparking Zero. Piccolo End just does not have it. You're better off using Piccolo early, because although Piccolo early struggles a little bit less, he's still just a superior option if you want to use Piccolo. So yeah, that's my number 1 slot for worst character in Sparking Zero. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know your top 10s in the description below. And make sure to comment as well what other lists I should do. I'm open to do any of them. But as always, I'll see you all in the next Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Peace out and goodbye.